What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Oleta Adams, and we're returning to the 1995 album Moving On. Thank you again to Kim. And the next track is I Knew You When, which feels like a phrase part of a larger passage/sentence, and obviously the most detailed information appears to be that which is left out, but it certainly suggests the passage of time. The verb to know is in the past tense conjugation, and although it's not clearly indicated, there is an implicit, I think, assumption in the phrasing that this is something which is ongoing. This is an association, a relationship, a connection which is active in the present because the other person is being spoken to, and maybe something which is going to continue into the future. Now, it could, of course, be know in a different sense, not I literally became aware of your existence, but I knew you in terms of emotional understanding or in terms of knowing someone on an intimate level. So I wouldn't be surprised if any of those things are true. It feels like most of Oleta's songs are written in relation to or in ways that can be seen through the prism of her relationship and her romantic involvement. And indeed, Kim's talked about that in a number of the reactions, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is in a similar territory. Let's give it a listen and see what I can catch on a first hearing. This is Oleta Adams. The track is I Knew You When, and it's from her 1995 album Moving On.
Come home and get lost in the evening news. I wish we could talk, but somehow we never do. Don't even ask me how my day has been. It looks like one of those evenings again. We sit here like strangers. I don't know you anymore. I knew you when you needed me. I used to make your world go round. You used to open up your heart and let me in. Why can't you now like you did then? I knew you I used to see nothing but love in your eyes. Now you look at me, it's enough to make me cry. Little by little, you're slipping away. So much is said in the words you don't say. Don't you remember when you were mine? Oh, there was a time I knew you when you needed me. I used to make your world go on.
A sonically and vocally beautiful tune, lyrically and thematically sadder than I thought it would be. And it's funny because some aspects of my title speculation were actually correct, though even then not quite how I expected. And there's elements there or here in the song that were distinct or opposite of what I was thinking, which is to say, yes, they are technically still under the same roof, they are still associated with each other, but it sounds like they're not really in a meaningful relationship anymore, and we hear indications of that by the way he comes home. Not only does he just start reading and he doesn't really converse with her, but crucially, he doesn't ask how her day was, and as she says, he's saying so much by the things he's not saying. His behavior, his interest, his affection toward her is utterly different and absent relative to the way it used to be. And in her mind, despite them being in the same house, despite them technically, seemingly, still being in a relationship, it's like she doesn't know him. She doesn't know this person. The person she knew was the person who was fully in love with her. She could see it in his eyes. She could feel it in the way he would talk to her and the way he would say that she, or at least the way she knew that she was what made his world go around. She was the force in his life that gave him purpose and feeling and meaning, and now it's like he's completely disinterested in that, and so his eyes don't carry that love and affection. And she seemingly is asking, why can't he love the way he used to? And she's felt it little by little, bit by bit, gradually erode away until the form that was there anymore is no longer. So it's a painful tune. She's self-aware, meaning she's not deluding herself, or she's not full of anger and bitterness or vengeance. It's more like this sad recognition and reflection on what was, how that's different from now, and how it makes her feel. And indeed, she talks about how seeing this empty look in his eyes relative to the loving look that she used to see when she looked at him, it's enough to make her cry. So she's upset, she's sad, she's processing things, but seemingly in a more healthy way in terms of recognizing that there's this disconnecting going on, talking about it, lamenting it, wishing it wasn't so, thinking of the way he used to be, but again, not lashing out and not deluding herself as to what he might be thinking. Now, who knows? We don't get his side of the story, so maybe he would say, no, it's not that, it's, I've been stressed lately, and yes, things are more difficult, but I feel like you've not been communicating to me. So I feel like there could be another side to this story, but the narrator sounds sincere. It's not one of those tracks where it's clearly an unreliable narrator. So yes, there might be some wiggle room, if you will, in terms of the themes of the song, but I trust the narrator as Oleta sings her part, and it is very powerful. Now, again, knowing the complicated nature of the way sometimes songs can speak to things that are autobiographical, but be represented in a way that is not a one-to-one relationship for what actually happened, I do wonder if this is something that came from her own feelings at a particular time in her life, or if this is essentially singing what's the right word I was going to say, not unrequited, because it sounds like the love used to be, fully harmonious and intact, but singing a heartbroken song, even if there is some drawing from her own emotional memory here. Nevertheless, her vocals are fantastic. I enjoy the production. It is certainly heavier and ballad-like, but there's moments where the sonics flourish, and I enjoy I don't even know what they are. They're like those sort of sparkles that are on the track, which gives it a bit of luster, even though, again, it's a very pained song thematically. So it's a beautiful song, if also heartbroken lyrics. So once again, shout out to Oleta. Thank you again to Kim. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.